After the university entrance exam ended, the cold, charming heartthrob of our school hurriedly pulled me into the classroom and tasted the forbidden fruit. Though the invasion of my body was excruciatingly painful, I secretly felt a sense of happiness, thinking that 12 years of unrequited love, 99 confessions, and the first time he had just given me had finally borne fruit. In my dreams, I could never have imagined he'd say that other men alone weren't enough to open his heart. He only wanted to use me to practice his skills. The one he truly desired was an experienced girl with a fiery figure. Those cruel words were like an invisible pair of hands tightening around my throat, making me stop breathing for a moment. Clearly, the sunlight today was dazzlingly bright, yet I felt as if I were falling into an icy abyss. The mocking words of James and his friends continued to echo alongside the singing in the room, growing fainter and fainter. "Well done, James! Even the little lady of South University is only fit for your practice. So isn't he just something like a chambermaid?" James didn't care and laughed. "A chambermaid? He didn't lose anything, did he?" Immediately someone chimed in. Exactly, getting to experience Jamis' agility. Shouldn't he be secretly thrilled? James shot a commanding glance, cutting the person off. "I was just acting on impulse. The mood was right. Besides, I could tell he was struggling to endure it." Everyone laughed knowingly. Who would thought the little lady of South University was so discreet? Ha ha! In the end, it's Jamis' charm that's just as strong. When the meat's already at your mouth, why not eat it? Plus, he's been chasing James for years. He must have been dying to throw himself at him. The laughter rang out again, even clearer. I bit my lower lip hard, my hands clenched into fists, using all my strength to hold my body steady. Not far behind, there seemed to be footsteps approaching. I suddenly startled, hurriedly fleeing the scene. In my panic, I hid in the room across the hall. Only then did I realize my heart was aching. Tears of humiliation streamed down my face. Jamis' words replayed over and over in my mind, almost shattering my entire sense of self-worth. If I hadn't heard it with my own ears, I could never have believed that the man who was so intimate with me last night was the same person. So when a boy doesn't love someone, he can still do the most intimate things. He can still lie and deceive others. My mind had thought we'd achieved something real, but in reality, I was just a joke in someone else's mouth. The more I cried, the more heartbroken I felt. Yet I didn't dare let out even a single loud sob. My body kept trembling uncontrollably. I don't know how much time passed. My phone suddenly pinged with a message from James. "Go home first. We're heading to the internet cafe later, so I won't take you." I didn't reply. He added another message, "Oh right. After that, make sure to buy some. You must take it." I stared at those two messages for a long time. Yesterday, from evening until dawn, James had tormented me over and over. In the end, we were both exhausted. He held me as we slept. Before falling asleep, he repeatedly reminded me, "Today was unexpected. Tomorrow morning, you'll definitely remember to buy the medicine for you." He even told me, girls must take the pill after that. Otherwise, it'll cause great harm to their bodies. Back then, I thought he was so good to me, a responsible guy. But now, in an instant, I sobered up. I pinched my palm hard to stop the tears. I wiped my eyes dry, regained my composure, and stepped out of the opposite room. Back home, I swallowed the morning after pill through tears. It was as if I'd lost all feeling. I collapsed onto the floor, dazed. James and I had known each other for over 10 years. I was like a shadow, always following behind him. Even our parents had arranged a betrothal for us, so I never imagined what the world would be like without him. I didn't dare think about it, but it's okay. Everything was about to end, until the last ray of sunset shone on me. I realized my best friend Daisy had video called me. "Lily, why did you go home so early tonight? Right after you left, Sophia showed up. Taking advantage of your absence, she clung to James. The two of them were so disgusting there." After Daisy spoke, she turned the camera. In a dim corner of the room, James and the school's beauty queen Sophia sat close together. Even when talking, they whispered in each other's ears. Even through a screen, I could feel the thick, ambiguous atmosphere. My heart involuntarily ached. It seems James moved on pretty quickly. The video was still connected, so I witnessed an even more provocative scene. Sophia drew a challenge to drink a cross-cup toast and needed a guy to join her. As expected, James immediately stood up. Everyone started cheering. Sophia's face flushed as she hooked her arm around James. When they drank, Gemma's hand slid down to her waist. The cheers around them grew louder, almost enough to bring the roof down. Amid the wild cheering, James, in his luck, leaned down and kissed Sophia and the others. They began a passionate French kiss, oblivious to their surroundings. It wasn't until 5 minutes later that they reluctantly parted. During those long 5 minutes, I stared at the screen, almost forgetting to breathe. My heart felt like it was being torn apart. Hey Lily, did you see that clearly? They were kissing so loudly. He's too in love, Daisy, she exclaimed, turning the camera away from the room. She found a quiet corner and seriously advised me. Lily, I wanted you to see it for yourself, so you'd give up on him. My voice was hoarse, letting out dark, heavy sounds. I know I should have given up long ago. I was just too foolish all these years, thinking that because I was allowed to be by Janice's side, that place would always be mine. I just can't stand James. He clearly knows how much you've liked him for years, yet he pretends to be innocent, stringing you along, letting you sink deeper and deeper. You've seen it clearly now. I really hope you'll think it over carefully. I'm afraid that once you go to university, he'll waste another 4 years of your life. No, Daisy, I interrupted her calmly. If decided to study abroad in England with you, but you have to promise to keep it a secret for me. After hearing this, Daisy was so overjoyed she could fly. She had wanted me to study abroad with her for a long time, but because of me and James, we had an agreement that after the entrance exam, we'd go to Nanjing together, his dream destination, where they have the aviation major Hayes loved since he was a kid. So for 3 years of high school, I always took his goals as my own. Both sets of parents were thrilled to see us attend the same university, including me. Everyone thought James and I would naturally become a couple as we grew up. But now, I couldn't find any reason to go to Nanjing anymore. Or rather, after today, if I kept clinging to James like before, I'd feel like I was disrespecting myself. I just wanted to escape far away. Anywhere would do, as long as James wasn't there. He'd stay in the country, and I'd go abroad. After ending the video call, I filled the bathtub, wanting to wash my body clean. But no matter how I scrubbed, the kiss marks on my body remained vivid. Memories of last night flooded back uncontrollably. The scorching body heat of the boy holding me tight, his hot breath by my ear when he was aroused. It seemed to linger around me still. I shook my head hard, wanting to cast out these crazy thoughts, clumsily trying to use water to erase the most humiliating memory of my life. In the end, I was in so much pain I couldn't sleep all night. James didn't send any more messages, breaking our daily habit. Since we got phones, we'd always wished each other goodnight without fail. Oh well, this day was bound to come. Let's start breaking the addiction tonight. The next morning, while I was still deep in sleep, I suddenly felt in my dream someone pressing a kiss onto my lips. I jolted awake. The scent above me was one I was all too familiar with. I almost forgot. James always knew the passcode to my house. Seeing me wake up, James pressed himself onto me, trying to flirt. I hurriedly pushed him away, scrambling to the other side of the bed. James froze for a moment. Smiling, he asked why I was being shy. I didn't say anything, just pulled the blanket over my head. He scolded me while pulling the blanket off. Lily, you didn't say goodnight to me last night, and now you're avoiding me. His hands and feet deftly slipped under the blanket. Before I could react, he had me fully in his arms. My little Lily, I ran for half an hour to get you the seafood porridge you love most. I had to queue for ages. Do you want to get up and eat now or get eaten by me first? His breath was so close to me. His hands started touching my body. I struggled hard because I truly didn't understand what he was thinking. He already had Sophia, so why was he teasing me? I struggled for a long time, gasping for breath but unable to break free. Instead, he held me even tighter. What's wrong now? Just because I let you go home early last night. I didn't say anything. He buried his head in my neck, chuckling. Let me guess. Did your best friend snitch on me? It was just a game. Why are you still the same as always? I get a little close to other girls, and you get sulky. I was furious beyond measure. Finally, I suddenly lifted my knee and struck his sensitive spot. Taking advantage of his pain, I quickly scrambled off the bed. James gritted his teeth, his face flushed red. I hurriedly threw on a jacket over my pajamas, rushing to the living room, not wanting to stay in the same room with him, especially not in my bedroom. A while later, James came out too, with a mix of anger and helplessness on his face. Halfway through, he seemed to remember something. Oh, did you take the pill yesterday? Don't let something happen and leave me explaining to your parents. James walked to the dining table, picked up the seafood porridge and handed it to me. Be good. Eat a little, then you can sulk. I didn't say anything, didn't take it. James' hand hovered in the air for a long time. Finally, he lost patience. Lily, sulking should have a reason and a limit. I coldly replied, I'm not worthy. James got angry too. He slammed the seafood porridge onto the coffee table. He used too much force and the plastic container cracked. The porridge spilled all over the carpet. What do you mean by that? Lily, we just slept together once. Do you want to control me now? Are you crazy? His tone was fiercer than ever. In that 1 second, my tears fell like rain, without a moment to hold them back. The humiliation and grievance from yesterday surged up together. James didn't expect I'd suddenly cry so intensely. He was a bit flustered. Sorry, I drank too much last night. I spoke to harshly just now. As he spoke, he knelt beside me, reaching out to wipe my tears. But I dodged again. His hand froze midair. He tried to keep coaxing me, but his phone suddenly pinged. He glanced at it, his expression changed. He immediately stood up to leave. I have something urgent. Calm down by yourself. Less than half an hour after he left, Daisy sent me a screenshot. It was Sophia's social media post. Who could have such a perfect dream guy? Turns out he's mine. Attached was a photo of a seafood porridge container, identical to the one in front of me. I didn't reply, just silently wiped my tears. Knelt down to carefully clean up the mess James had made. I tried for a long time, but I realized heartbroken. The stains on the carpet had seeped deep inside. Impossible to clean. I was so angry I threw the carpet away. After all, it was a gift from James. Like him, it was too filthy. While I was at it, I cleared out everything James had left in my house, and all the big and small gifts had ever given me. Even all the photos we'd taken together. I sorted them out one by one. It took a whole day to pack everything up and throw it away. That day after James left, he didn't contact me for days. Maybe his relationship with someone else was going smoothly, or maybe he was waiting for me to give in. Every time we fought, I was always the first to give in. No exceptions. But this time I didn't look for him. There was no need to look for him anymore. I blocked his contact, changed the passcode to my house, deleted all my social media accounts. After doing all this, I called my parents who were on a business trip abroad, told them. During the summer break, I wanted to travel with friends after the exam. My plan was after the summer break ended, I'd go straight abroad with Daisy to start school. Besides Daisy, no one else knew that I'd applied to a school abroad. This plan could perfectly avoid any chance of running into James. My mom teased me over the phone. I bet you're planning to travel with James, aren't you? I made an excuse to deny it, not wanting to explain much. After begging my dad to book me the earliest flight, I prepared to leave that night. Unfortunately, as I was leaving, I ran into James' mom at the villa gate. She enthusiastically pulled me aside, asked if I was waiting for James here. Going to Mount Fuji with him is great. I fully support it. It felt a bit strange. I'd mentioned to James that I wanted to go to Mount Fuji, but with our situation now, it didn't seem right to travel together. However, time was running out. I just responded vaguely and left. But what I didn't expect was running into James at the airport. He was with a group of friends, including Sophia. James carried her bag in one hand, his other arm around Sophia's shoulder. Occasionally, Sophia leaned in to say something to him. James always cooperated, patiently leaning down to listen. Unlike with me, since we were kids, James was always a head taller. Later, he grew even taller. When I was with him, I always had to stand on tiptoes, look up to talk to him. So with someone he truly cared about, had take the initiative to lean down. I took a deep breath, telling myself I must have some self-respect. Whatever he did had nothing to do with me. Stop overthinking, give yourself a slap. But the path to the check-in gate seemed to be just one. I could only follow them from a distance. It wasn't until a fork in the path that James seemed a bit distracted. For some reason, his expression darkened. Then he headed to the restroom nearby. Right after my phone suddenly rang. It was an unknown number. Lily, you're really throwing a tantrum this time. You even blocked me. Fine, if you're so great, don't come looking for me. When we get to Nanjing, let's see who'll take care of you. I didn't say much. Quickly added him back on WeChat. Too lazy to reply a single word. I hung up directly. When the boarding announcement came, I didn't look back at James, who had returned to his spot. Whether he saw me or not didn't matter anymore. During the entire trip, I deliberately kept myself busy, filling my days with schedules, trying to avoid overthinking, and didn't add his contact back, as had requested. However, Daisy still occasionally sent me updates about James. James seemed to have spent many days at Mount Fuji, but oddly, every day he posted photos on social media very diligently, though I didn't want to care. For some reason, many friends automatically shared them with me. Everyone curiously asked about them, except for Daisy, who always directly cursed James as a jerk. Others seemed hesitant to say anything in front of me. I knew they must have noticed something, because in every group photo James posted, he and Sophia were always close, practically inseparable. But before that, spot next to him had been mine for years. Every time I saw these things, my face remained calm, but deep down I couldn't help but feel a pang. After all, it was my first love, and I had truly loved him for so long. In the quiet of late-night dreams, I'd uselessly feel sad for a while. Occasionally, I felt a bit unwilling to let go, but every time I recalled those hurtful words, I silently slapped myself, telling myself over and over, Lily, don't degrade yourself. You'll only be looked down on more. Hold on a bit longer, wait a bit more. Things will surely get better after this phase. We cut off contact for exactly 20 days. It was the longest fight since James and I had known each other. Distance and time are great remedies. I got through the hardest part when I almost stopped thinking about James. He changed his number and called me. Lily, you're really something. Daring to travel alone. If you don't come back, the summer break is almost over. Have you forgotten your promise to travel with me? It had been a while since we talked. His complaining tone carried a hint of caution. I still didn't want to talk to him. Just as I was about to hang up, his mom took the phone. Lily, you have to stay safe. That kid James wouldn't tell me anything. It was only later I found out you two fought. Don't hold it against him. When you come back, let him apologize to you in person. Oh, James got his admission letter today. Yours should be coming soon, right? When are you coming back? I've prepared a surprise gift for you. Since I was little, Aunt Jane had always been good to me, like family. I couldn't bear to hang up on her, so I rambled on listening to her finish, and sorry. For now, I might not return to the country. I'll probably wait until school starts and go straight to enroll. Before I could finish, the call switched back to James. He was breathing heavily. Even across the Pacific, I could feel his anger. Lily, I'm telling you, if you don't come back, don't blame me for going to Nanjing first. I won't wait for you. He coldly delivered his threat but didn't get the response he wanted. So he added, I mean it. Don't regret it. I hung up. My mom also video called me. Turns out my parents knew I'd applied to study abroad. They were shocked. Lily, why didn't you discuss it with us? Does James know about this? His mom asked this morning. If you received your admission letter yet, Besides studying abroad alone, how can we feel at ease? Did you fight with James? You can't just because of a moment's impulse move to such a faraway place. What if you regret it in a few days and want to find James? There will be nowhere to cry. Exactly such a distant country. The more I listened, the more upset I felt. I decisively explained to them once and for all. James already has a girlfriend. Keeping too close to him isn't good. Besides mom, dad, I have my own life. So please support my decision and keep it a secret for me. My parents looked at each other, silent for a long time. Finally, they agreed. Later, my mom told me, after James got his admission letter, the next day he went traveling with friends again. Didn't come home for days. And Jane said she occasionally asked my mom about my return date. On the last day of the trip, my parents dressed in formal suits came to the airport to pick me up. When I woke up and got out of the car, I realized the destination wasn't home. Still groggy, my mom pulled me along. As soon as we entered the hall, I saw James after so long. My steps froze. James was wearing a well-fitted suit, standing casually by the fountain. His tall figure was a sight to behold. In just one summer, his boyish charm had faded a lot. Exactly like the mature version I'd once imagined. My heart was a tangled mess. After avoiding each other for so long, we met so unexpectedly. Seeing me stunned, my mom quietly explained, Lily, today is Jamis University celebration party. That kid James is really thoughtful. He specifically told his parents to schedule it on the day your trip ended, to celebrate for both of you. James seemed to sense me. His gaze met mine just in time. My heart skipped a beat. James was about to walk toward me when Sophia suddenly appeared, hooking her arm through his. Sophia pulled him along, smiling and saying, Hi, Lily's back. I always saw you and James together before. From now on, the three of us can hang out together. Her words made James a bit uncomfortable. He said awkwardly, HMPH. Who wants to hang out with her? I didn't respond, just stared blankly at the two of them. The thin silver bracelet with sparkling diamonds made him shine even more, perfectly matching James today. I looked down at myself in casual clothes, plus the house slippers I wore through airport security. My hair messy from just waking up, as if I'd just come back from the market. My mom suddenly remembered, whispering in my ear, I've prepared a party dress for you. You can change later. I nodded, then shook my head. I'm not the main character. Lily. James suddenly called me, his tone unclear. Sophia's gaze darted between me and him. The atmosphere suddenly turned strangely quiet. Luckily, more friends arrived just then. Sophia pulled James over to greet them, acting like the hostess. Jamis University celebration party only invited close family and friends, so there weren't too many people. Familiar friends were surprised to see me. I just smiled and greeted them, pretending I knew nothing. But their gossiping glances couldn't be hidden. Even when I went to the bathroom, I overheard a few friends cornering the main character James to ask about the situation. Didn't you say Lily was mad at you? She couldn't let go and came back to find you. James gave a soft laugh. We've known each other for so many years. How could she really leave me? The other person sighed. Actually, Lily's pretty great. After all its years of feelings, obediently following you, were all jealous. One side is your childhood sweetheart. The other is the goddess of your heart. It's a pity to give up either. So what are you going to do? James was silent for a moment before saying, honestly, I think Lily's great too, but I feel a bit shortchanged. I'm still so young. How can a man have only one woman in his life? A life where you can see the future is so boring. I still need to go out and see the scenery, but there's no rush. As long as I turn around, she'll always be there. I couldn't listen anymore, quietly stepping outside, wanting to throw those words as far away as possible. The night breeze blew. I couldn't help but sniffle. My eyes felt a bit hot. I hated myself for being blind before choosing the wrong person. Today's party made me feel utterly terrible, and Jane was thrilled to see me. At the dinner table, she kept pulling me aside to ask warmly, Lily, you'll need to buy a lot of things in Nanjing. Let James go with you tomorrow, okay? He smiled and agreed, then said to my mom, the bedding for the dorm, and other things. When I prepared for myself, I got a set for Lily too. Everything's ready. My mom was a bit embarrassed, but didn't want to make her lose face, so she politely thanked her. Sophia's face looked very sour, but Aunt Jane didn't care. She kept instructing me and James. When you get to Nanjing, you two are each other's closest family. James, you must take good care of Lily. Don't make her mad again, got it? James didn't care. Glanced at me HMPH. Does she need me to take care of her? She can fly on her own. The atmosphere got a bit tense. Sophia suddenly cut in, Aunt, my school's in Nanjing too. Don't worry, I'll take good care of James. Besides, isn't Lily going to study abroad? Before she finished, James and his parents' faces changed. Study abroad? Sophia was shocked. James, you didn't know. The honor roll is still up at school. Oh right, you haven't been back to school. Everyone stared at me. Under pressure, I quietly nodded. My mom helped explain. Lily wants to experience life abroad. We've agreed to it. James didn't believe it. He grabbed my hand and confirmed again. Lily, you're not going to the same university as me. I saw you fill out the application. His grip on my hand was tight, painful. I couldn't help but get angry too. Yes, I'm going to study abroad. What right do you have to control me? James was stunned for a long time. Finally, he laughed in anger. Amid everyone's gasps, he yanked me out of the crowd. I was dragged into a lounge. He shut the door, leaning against it, cornering me against the wall. Lily, you're really something. To throw a tantrum and forget our promise, deciding to study abroad on your own. I looked up, mustering all my courage to face him. I have my own thoughts too. Why must I follow your preferences to decide my life? James, ask yourself, are you angry about the promise? Or because I can't keep being your bed-warming servant? James' face paled. What do you mean? We're adults. That day, weren't we both willing? I was a bit embarrassed, but still stubbornly looked into his eyes. James, you like someone else. You could've just said it outright. I wouldn't shamelessly cling to you, but you clearly don't like me. Yet you saw me as a moth flying into your flame. That feeling was thrilling, wasn't it? Even now, he didn't understand. Only when someone's hopes are completely crushed do they say goodbye. His sore spot hit. James' face went from pale to red. He could barely stand. The things you're saying, listen to yourself. He stammered, unable to speak. Lily, because you chose to betray this relationship. From now on, we can't even be friends. He left those final words, then fled from my sight. From that day, until my study abroad application was approved, I didn't see James again. Daisy sent me a screenshot of his public relationship post. I didn't even open it, just deleted it. All the friends connected to him I blocked too. From now on, I really didn't need to care anymore. The day I left for abroad at the airport, I unluckily ran into James again. Sophia was still by his side. As we passed, he only greeted my parents, then walked straight on without stopping. The whole time he didn't glance at me once. We quickly parted ways. Neither of us looked back. Before entering the check-in gate, I suddenly turned around, just in time to see James boarding his plane. He gave me a cold glance, then turned and disappeared into the gate. In the end, we no longer walked the same path. After that, for a long time, we heard no news of each other. I specifically told my parents not to mention anything about James' family in front of me. I arrived in a new environment, made lots of new friends, kept busy every day, and those unhappy memories faded away. It turns out a life revolving around one person was really boring. Thinking of this, I started to sympathize with James' perspective back then. The world outside is so vast. Life is so long. Why tie yourself down early to one person? On my birthday, a high school friend came to England to travel. Daisy and I took him to eat hot pot in Chinatown. He casually mentioned James, said he and Sophia had broken up long ago. In the university district with so many schools, he dated and broke up with lots of people. The cold James from class before was completely different, like had become a different person. If I saw him again, I might not recognize him. I didn't say anything, Daisy kept winking at him to change the topic. He didn't bring it up again. When making my wish, I realized this was the first time my wish had nothing to do with James. In my short life before, almost all my wishes were tied to James. I was truly happy that I'd finally let go. During my first winter break at university, I missed my parents terribly. After exams, I rushed home immediately, but I didn't expect James would come with my parents to pick me up at the airport. Seeing James again after half a year, both of us had changed a lot. He was thinner, dyed his hair, of course still as handsome as ever. Since I was little, my judgment of people wasn't great, but my taste was still good. Otherwise, I wouldn't have followed him around since childhood. Lost in thought for a moment, I smiled and walked over, casually greeting him, "Brother James. Long time no see." James' hand reaching for my luggage froze. Midair, he looked at me in disbelief. Since we were kids, both our parents told me to call him brother, but I stubbornly never did. Now, with a different mindset, I said it naturally, but James seemed to struggle to accept it. After a long pause, he shakily took my luggage. "Mom," whispered in my ear to explain, "we came to pick you up," and ran into James at the gate. He insisted on coming along to help. I smiled, signaled to Mom that it was fun. In the car, I eagerly told my parents about recent school stories, making them laugh nonstop. No one paid attention to James, but I glanced and noticed the corner of his mouth was quietly curved up the whole way. That day, he seemed to want to come to my house, but all three of us politely declined. During the winter break, I heard James came by a few times, but always missed me. I found it a bit strange. I didn't think we had anything left to talk about. On New Year's Day, James' whole family suddenly showed up with a ton of stuff, making a ruckus at our house. "Your house is too quiet. Mind if we come liven things up?" And Jane teased with a smile. Before, on Lunar New Year, our two families always ate together. This year, because of my situation with James, my mom had declined Aunt Jane's invitation for New Year's dinner. But you can't kick out guests. James naturally sat next to me, watching me play cards. Our cousins, unaware of what happened between us, kept teasing us. I smiled and explained to each one. James' face looked a bit sour. At midnight, when we went outside to set off fireworks, he pulled me aside, seeming to want to say something, but my phone suddenly rang. My face flushed a bit. I pushed James' hand away, stepping aside to answer. It was a close friend I met studying abroad in England, named Mark, also very handsome, talkative, fast-talking, and hilarious. I often laughed until my stomach hurt because of him. He said he called to wish me a happy Chinese New Year. I didn't think much of it. Since it was New Year's, I didn't hang up, letting him join our New Year's Eve ritual the whole time. When I finally hung up and turned around, I found James with an icy expression standing behind me, not sure how long had been listening. "Boyfriend?" he asked hoarsely. "Almost," I answered honestly. James was silent for a long time. I thought he had nothing more to say. I was about to head back to the living room to keep playing cards when he suddenly spoke up. "Guys you meet abroad might not be reliable. You should find someone local." I nodded. True, you can know their face, but not their heart. You'll keep getting to know him. James seemed to have his sore spot touched. He didn't say anything, just left the yard. I didn't think much of it. After all, his tantrums weren't new. Before, with my rosette-tinted glasses, everything about him seemed good. Now the winter break was short. I quickly returned to England, but the next day, I saw James at the university gate. His face looked haggard, like he hadn't even shaved. "James, why are you here?" "I wanted to see what your university looks like and check if you're doing well abroad." I smiled and answered, "Very well. There's lots of good food here. If you have time, go explore and eat." He looked a bit disappointed, didn't answer me. "Lily, can't you go eat with me?" "Just once." Before I could say anything, a voice with shaky Chinese cut in. "Sorry, please get in line." Mark came from the side, nervously stepping between me and James. Their eyes locked like sparks were flying. "Lily, you came back to school early for him?" James asked with a strange tone. I didn't know what he was thinking, but I didn't need to explain to him. I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to eat now. See you. As I pulled Mark away, he turned back and glared at James. At the traffic light, I looked back. James was standing at the school gate still watching us. Under the tree's shadow, he looked especially lonely. I don't remember where I heard it. After a breakup, women grieve for a month and move on. But men might take much longer to realize what they've lost and then start an emotional counterattack. Jam's emotional counterattack seemed to come too late. After half a year of playing around and indulging in a winter break, he unexpectedly started appearing around me often. I don't know what excuse he used to take leave from his school, always showing up in England out of the blue. He started giving me all sorts of gifts, flowers, bags, jewelry. I refused them all. When he had nothing to do, he'd squat outside my dorm. No matter how I persuaded, he wouldn't leave. As soon as he found me, he'd go to class with me every day, eat with me in the cafeteria. Mark was so provoked he sighed every day, occasionally throwing out sarcastic remarks in Chinese, making me laugh and cry. And Jane also called many times, sent lots of messages, telling me the school had started contacting parents. James was skipping to many classes. If this continued, he might fail or get expelled. She desperately begged me to please talk some sense into James. I was so annoyed I couldn't take it. I didn't understand what James was thinking. At first, he was dead set on going out to see the scenery. Now Hayes turned around acting all devoted. I decisively confronted him for a straight talk. James knew my intention. His emotions immediately spiraled out of control. Lily, a foreigner can pursue you, but I can't. Hayes only known you for how long? We've known each other for years. In this world besides your parents, no one knows you better than me. No one is more suitable for you than me. I laughed in anger, asking back, James, what have you done? You really don't remember. You just like the feeling of me chasing you, thinking no matter how you treated me, I wouldn't leave, trampling on my sincere feelings at will, as if his weakness was exposed. James broke down even more. Yes, I did some things wrong. At first, I felt the whole world was full of temptations. I didn't want to be tied down by just you. I owe you a formal apology. Lily, I'm sorry. James looked sincere, suddenly softening his tone. Is that okay? Even if you see me as a stranger, don't I have the right to pursue you again from the start? After leaving you, I realized I'm not used to a life without you. I can't imagine not having you in the future. Who would I share everything with? The wind gave me a headache. I thought silently for a long time before answering him. To be honest, since leaving you, I realized I could freely be myself. My emotions don't have to depend on someone else's whims. So I suddenly understood. James, your foolish actions in our youth were probably just my naivety. James, I don't like you anymore. James was struck like lightning, frozen for a long time. After a while, he spoke softly, his tone full of grievance. But we promised to go to university together, travel together, see the world together. Those words, are you breaking them too? I was momentarily dazed, nodded, then shook my head. You were the one who broke the promise first. And if found someone to fulfill those things with. James was somewhat broken. His eyes red. Don't say anymore. Lily, I really know I was wrong. Seeing his pale face, I couldn't help but advise him one last time. Are you really sorry? James, no! You just realized no one's waiting for you anymore. Maybe you don't really love me. You're just unwilling to let go. James, don't look for me anymore. I didn't wait for him to say anything. I walked away first, just like he didn't understand me all those years. I crossed to the other side of the road. Mark immediately grabbed my hand. That jerk he teased, making me burst out laughing, no longer paying attention to the man behind me. As he said, the scenery outside is beautiful. I should go see more of it.